Hello and welcome on France 24. Welcome for an exclusive interview with the interim Prime Minister of Sudan, Mr. Abdallah Hamdok. Thank you very much for being with us today.
Thank you for having me.
Ms. Hamdok, you just met the French president. He expressed France's support for one of your key demands. President al-Bashir is out of power now for several months. There's an interim government, but your priority is to be taken off the list of countries sponsoring terrorism. The US has not done so. Are you calling them to do so urgently and directly President Trump?
Absolutely. We've met with a number of representatives at the very senior level of the American administration. We had very good discussions, and we think we're moving in the right direction. The removal or delisting of Sudan from the SSTL is a key to anything that we would like to do in the transitional period, whether it is a peace agenda, but more importantly, in the economic agenda. Opening up the country, investment is linked to it, the debt issues are linked to it.
The US officials have said it's a process, Congress needs to be involved. It could take up to a year. You've said that you need $8 billion essentially to rescue the economy. If you have to wait a year, it's obviously too long. Are you saying to the administration or to the president directly, do this now, because if not, the country could be in serious trouble again?
You know, as I said earlier, SSTL its removal is key to anything that we would like to do.
But the president can do it himself.
I think so, and I think it can be lifted in rather short period of time than a long one.
What do you mean by short period of time?
Short period, as short as can be. And I think this is something linked to all the processes that are to follow in the country.
Right.
If I thought the Sudanese people, having effected this great change, should be rewarded by lifting these sanctions on them.
Right, because it's an obstacle to get funding from the World Bank, from the IMF, and
you can't touch all those things. The debt issue, you cannot progress on it. But more importantly, which is our desire, to open Sudan to foreign direct investment, that can only happen if these sanctions is lifted. You need to create an environment of trust, building confidence in the economy and all that. And the road to this is through the lifting of the sanctions and delisting of Sudan.
Right, that's one of your main objectives. The other
Yes.
is to reach a comprehensive peace agreement within 6 months with the rebel groups in Darfur, in the Blue Nile region, in South Kordofan. A process has already started. Do you think that really in 6 months, real peace can be achieved?
Yes, it's in an affirmative yes. We think a lot has been done in this front. We are talking to our brothers and sisters in the armed groups. I'm sure you know my first visit outside Khartoum was to Juba, and that choice was deliberate. First, because of the symbolism in this relationship with the South. We are one nation in two states, but also to meet the leadership of the armed groups and the leadership of the South, which is helping us a great deal to reach an agreement on the peace. I think the time is very ripe. There is a will on both sides to achieve that.
There was a missing piece, and this is also why probably you also came to France. A rebel leader, Abdul Wahid al-Nour, you met him in Paris. It's an important rebel faction. Has he told you, I know you said the meeting was constructive, but I want to be very concrete. Has he told you that his group would join this roadmap to peace, or is he still saying, I want a few more things before we jump in?
Meeting Abdul Wahid was a very important milestone and a step in the right direction. We had very good discussions, very cordial. We talked about the issues. We had covered a great deal of spectrum, including the root causes of the conflicts, the war, and all that. And there were almost unanimous agreement on them. And I think this is the first meeting. I was expecting a short meeting, but our meeting lasted for 3 hours almost.
Did he commit to join this peace process? Not yet, as far as I can see.
We agreed that this is the first meeting. We agreed to meet again.
Okay.
And probably even tonight we'll be meeting again. So you can see we are working towards creating a momentum.
Okay.
We are very determined to leave no stone unturned in our quest for peace.
I want to get to the quest for justice. There was obviously a crackdown on June 3rd. Lots of people died. You set up a committee to investigate. Human rights groups have raised objections, saying they're members of the Interior Ministry, of the Defense Ministry, those very forces accused of the crackdown. Why not a fully international investigation? Why have you refused to do that?
We are actually very committed to bring the perpetrators of that act to justice through the law.
Even if they're powerful security forces?
Absolutely. But also what we followed is precisely the description we had in the agreement, which gave us a clear roadmap in the structure, the setup of this committee. And we are determined to have a committee that will reach to the bottom of this.
What about the military? We know there was an agreement. There is a kind of joint sovereign council, as it's known. There are some powerful members of the military. Are you concerned that the military could decide that the transition is not something they want and that there could be a counter-coup? Is this still a real threat for you in your eyes?
I don't believe so. You know, there is no military council anymore. There is a sovereignty council.
But there's powerful military interests.
Well, it is a council of 11 members, 5 military, 6 civilian. I think from the time the council was constituted and the government was also constituted, we are working together in, I can confidently tell you, in partnership. It is in the interest of both sides to make it work. We hope that working together, we will be able to fulfill the dreams and aspirations of our people.
If the committee finds that important military commanders were responsible for the crackdown, what will happen? They will be prosecuted?
As I told you earlier, we are not going to leave any stone unturned. The committee has all the powers in its jurisdictions to point out to whoever have.
There'll be no cover-up?
No, there will not be any cover-up.
I want to get to Omar al-Bashir. Obviously, he's currently on trial for corruption. We're learning that he had a lot of money in cash, apparently, at home. There's other cases about his possible involvement, but there is also the issue of the International Criminal Court. He's wanted for war crimes related to the Darfur conflict. Will you hand him over to the International Criminal Court?
Our bottom line in this is that transitional justice should be served, no impunity. We will work towards justice that will bring the satisfactions to the victim.
You're not answering my question.
And there is no impunity and there is no escape from justice being served.
Will you send him to The Hague or not?
I told you.
You're not telling me.
We will work. No, I'm telling you. You can't tell me I'm not telling you. I'm telling you, we will work towards making sure that justice has been served to the best satisfaction of the victims. Our government The aspiration of the Sudanese people is asking us to do precisely that, and we'll do it.
Is he, in your eyes, a war criminal?
I don't think it is fair on you to ask this question for one reason. These are issues for judiciary, for justice. We would like to establish a situation whereby legal cases, legal environment is free from interference of politicians, of executive, of any other interferences. We want to create a Sudan that is at ease with itself, a Sudan that respects the rule of law, respect the independence of the judiciary. I know it's not easy. We're working on that. We put in place a justice minister, and we are hoping the next step is to have Chief Justice, Attorney General, and this is a step in putting back a judiciary system that all Sudanese will be proud of.
So, as a conclusion, you're confident the revolution, as you've described it in Sudan, will win?
Absolutely. The revolution is not an event. It is dynamic. It is continuous. It's a non-linear process. We are happy and prepared to rise and fall in this process. Our compass is really to fulfill the aspirations of the millions of the Sudanese people who willingly, voluntarily went out in the streets for months and months to achieve this. I'm very optimistic that we will deliver it to its desired destination.
Abdel Hamdok, thank you very much for
welcome.
coming on the France 24 set. And thank you all for watching this exclusive interview. Stay tuned for more news.